Hi there, my name is Kim Berkeley. I'm one of the Speaking Out About Self-Injury blog authors over on HealthyPlace, and today I wanted to talk about some ideas for what you can write in your self-harm recovery journal. Now, as a writer, I know exactly how daunting that blank page can be, so while there is no one right way to make a self-harm recovery journal, this video will hopefully give you some ideas for how to fill that blank page and how to create a journal that can really help you through the recovery process. So the first and most obvious idea probably is to use your journal as just that, as something like a diary where you simply write out whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking, especially on the bad days, but also try to include the good days too. Try to include when you're feeling better, when you're feeling like recovery is possible or like it's going well, because these are the entries that you can look back on eventually for motivation and just to remind yourself on those bad days that the bad times don't last forever and that you have felt better in the past and you can feel better again in the future. The second way that you can use your journal, and this is a little more advanced, so you may want to practice that first one first before you do this, but the second way is to then take a second step and write your way out of those negative thoughts and emotions when you have them. So that this is something that has a little bit to do with like cognitive behavioral therapy techniques and stuff like that, where the idea is that if you have a negative thought that you keep coming back to or that keeps triggering you, your journal is a really good, safe space to first identify that thought, think about where it's coming from, what it has to do with, and then see if you can question it and use logic and perspective to find a new way of looking things that maybe is a little bit more balanced than how you might be seeing things when you're in a bad place. And for emotions, you can do a similar thing where first you identify what you're feeling and think about, what triggered it, what it has to do with, and think about either how you got to that point and how you can avoid it in the future, or ways that you can make yourself feel better. So for example, if you're feeling really low one day, you might make a list of things that will help you get out of that mood. Another way that you can use your journal is to use it as a creative outlet. Whatever it is that sparks your imagination and makes you feel better to write, that's a really great thing to put in that journal. And it doesn't just have to be a story. You can write poetry, you can write, flash fiction, you don't even have to write. You can use your journal as more of like a sketchbook and, draw what you're feeling or draw out what you would like your life to be like. You can create a collage or include some photos of like good days that you've had as a reminder, or pictures of things that represent the ways in which you might reward yourself when you reach certain milestones. Like maybe after 100 days clean, you want to take a little trip. And so you take a picture of that place that you want to go and you put it in your journal to keep you motivated. Again, your journal is ultimately only for you. And so whatever goes into it needs to be whatever helps you the most, whatever makes you feel better, whatever helps you stay on track. And that is the last thing that I would suggest in this video to include is some kind of tracker can be really helpful in the recovery process. Obviously, one kind of tracker that you'll want to include would be a days clean tracker. This can help you see your progress one day at a time, because that can be really easy to miss if you're not keeping track of it. But you can also keep track of other things that might have to do with your self-harm, for example, your mood. And again, this is something that not only will help you see your progress, but you can also start to recognize patterns and maybe recognize when you're getting to a bad place before you get there, and head that off before it gets too far. And that is a really big step in the recovery process. And when you get to that point, something you should be very proud of. So yeah, those are just a few ideas for what to include in your journal. Like I said, this is your journal. So, whatever comes to mind, whatever's helpful, whatever will help you keep on track and stay motivated for recovery, that is something to include. So I hope this video sparked some ideas for you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you have any ideas you want to talk out, feel free to leave a comment on the blog, and either I or my lovely co-author Martina will get back to you as soon as we can. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.